All right, good morning to my fellow subscribers out there. It's another great day to make a video, and this one's just going to be kind of like a continuation of what I was talking about in my last video regarding just like the entitlement from certain fans of Nintendo, or so-called fans of Nintendo. I made a video response to Rob of Rule of Two Review and some of the stupid, ignorant comments he was making about, Metroid Prime 4 and how that's the only thing he cares about. He's not going to care about anything else. He's not going to talk about anything else. He doesn't care if they announce a great Mario game, a great Zelda game, or any great game for that matter in this next upcoming Nintendo Direct that is supposed to be scheduled for the 12th of September. This was rumored by Nate the Hate and some other guys who are known for getting predictions right. So it's looking like it's going to be a general direct as well, which is what I've been waiting for a long time. And I'm really hoping they're going to knock it out of the park. Hopefully it's going to be something great and epic, and they're going to have a lot of great first-party games and third-party exclusives to show off for the system. I could care less about third-party. I could care less about it. Now, there are some third-party games out there that I would like to see come to the Switch 2. I would say Space Marines 2 would be pretty high on the list. I would love it if For Honor from Ubisoft would come to the Switch 2, and it'd be even better if it's not a damn live service game that requires online to play it. Right now, that's really all I could think of as far as third party goes. As far as third party is concerned, those are the only two games that I would be happy to see come to the Switch 2. And I guess maybe Grand Theft Auto 6 just to see all the PlayStation fangirls cry about it. But besides that, I really want Nintendo to come out strong with first party games and third party exclusives. Just exclusives for the most part. Now, something I want to touch upon from my last video or whatever, I was talking about how Rob was just being entitled and immature. And this guy, the way he talks about himself, he tries to downplay his own entitlement and immaturity by acting as though, he is not complaining, he is not being shitty about the whole situation, acting as though there are other Metroid Prime 4 fans that are being more shitty, and that he's just, he loves Mario and he loves Metroid. And he loves Zelda, but he doesn't give a shit about them right now. He only cares about Metroid Prime 4. And you know what? He said he's not going to talk about anything else until he gets the release date for Metroid Prime 4. So, in other words, if this, this Nintendo Direct that's coming up, if it ends up being really awesome, but it does not have the release date for Metroid Prime 4, then he's probably not going to talk about it. He's not going to, get on his camera and, interact with his, fans about the game or anything like that. They could announce some really good games, some really awesome fun titles. He's not going to talk about it or give it any mention until he gets a release date for Metroid Prime 4. And you know what? This kind of stupid shit is why his channel's probably not growing. The guy wants, to get more subscribers. He's constantly reminding people to hit like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And, he's on the road to, I don't know how many subscribers he's trying to get. But you know what? This kind of stupidity from him is going to hurt his channel. And he's going to deserve it. He's going to absolutely deserve it. Because you know what? Right now, if he does that, if he has that stupid, childish, reaction to where he's just gonna completely ignore an awesome direct from Nintendo, he's gonna just not talk about any awesome games that are announced and showcased, then you know what, I probably will unsubscribe from his stupid channel. Because you know what, I don't want to fucking, I'm not interested in a Metroid Prime fangirl channel that only talks about Metroid and doesn't give a shit about anything else. And lately, his channel has been nothing but, look at me, I'm the biggest Metroid Prime fanboy. It's like he's on a mission to prove to the world that he is the biggest fanboy for Metroid Prime, for Metroid in general, and that there's nobody else who loves the franchise as much as he does. And you know what? It's making him very unlikable. It's fine to talk a lot about that game and that franchise, but what's not fine is you calling yourself a Nintendo fan, you know, saying you love Nintendo and all this other stuff, and then you're just going to ignore great Nintendo games simply because you're not getting a damn release date for just this one particular game. So, with all that being said, you know what? People like him absolutely suck. Having that kind of mentality, having that kind of mindset, it does seem like he's just another pretendo. He doesn't really care that much about Nintendo anymore or their games. He only cares about just the one franchise, Metroid. And besides that, the only other games he seems to like or care about are just sci-fi games with photorealistic graphics. You know, he cares more about graphics over gameplay. That's why he thinks Death Stranding is such a great game when it's really just a piece of shit. That's why he doesn't care about the Kirby Air Riders game, because, you know, the graphics, you know, they're not just these, you know, impressive photorealistic graphics, but they still look nice. The game still looks really good. The graphics look very similar to Smash Bros. Ultimate. But unfortunately, you know, people like Rob, you know, all they care about is graphics. The main reason he's excited for Metroid Prime 4 is because of its graphics and nothing else, because look how good it looks. So I'm getting sick and tired of these pretendos, or people who used to be Nintendo fans. I mean, he used to enjoy more games than just fucking Metroid, but that's the only thing he cares about now. And to me, I think Nintendo fans who love more than just Metroid are probably going to be turned off by that. And, you know, if this upcoming Direct, you know, does what I think it might do, it might showcase a bunch of new games and not really speak too much about Metroid Prime 4, then if that happens and he decides not to even cover it or talk about it or react to it, then yeah, I can see a lot of people just being turned off by that and just being like, you know what, fuck this guy. And you know what, if you're a Nintendo fan, you would do that, because, you know, why would you call yourself a Nintendo fan and expect Nintendo fans to, you know, want to watch your content if you're just gonna like ignore great games being made by Nintendo, all because you didn't get a release date to just one game that we already fucking know is coming out. Look, even if the game gets delayed, even if it gets delayed and it gets delayed to 2026, we know the damn game's pretty close to coming out. Okay? Again, we've gotten a demo for it at Gamescom. We've seen footage of it, although I'm not impressed with what I've seen of it so far. We've at least seen footage of it. We've seen gameplay, and they've doubled down on the game come out in 2025. Yes, that could change, but still, the fact that we've gotten some coverage of it, we've gotten a demo of it. All right, we've gotten a rating and all these things that Nintendo has talked about it. Should be a good indication that the game is ready and it's not going to be canceled just canceled. It's not going to be canceled or anything like that, right? So I don't understand this stupid childish mindset of like, we need our release date. How dare they not give us the release date to make us feel happy? It's just so stupid to me, you know? It's so freaking stupid, I've never seen this much of an exception for just a fucking release date, you know? To the point where you're just getting angry and anal, especially when the game, it's quite evident that it's ready to be released very soon. I don't care if there's a good chance the game will get delayed. We know that this game ain't gonna be canceled or anything like that. So this whole thing is very stupid, and you know, him saying these things or whatever and just saying he doesn't care about anything else except for Metroid Prime. There's Metroid and then there's everything else. You know, that's the kind of crap I'm getting sick and tired of from people who, you know, call themselves Nintendo fans, who, you know, who pretty much promote their channel as being a Nintendo channel, and yet they seem to only care about one franchise. And look, people are like, oh, we hadn't, nobody else has had it worse than Metroid fans. That is bullshit. Okay? You ever heard of F-Zero? That is a game that's been fucking long gone, that we've been waiting many years for. Us F-Zero fans, or Nintendo fans who love F-Zero, we've been waiting on that fucking game since the GameCube days. They made F-Zero GX, and thankfully we could play it on the NSO, but still, that's a game that needs to be revived and brought back. You got Punch-Out. Last time we got a Punch-Out game was the Nintendo Wii. Now, some of you Metroid fans are acting like you've had it worse. Did you forget about Metroid Dread? Did you forget about that game? That was like one of the best 2D Metroid games ever made. Alright? And that game came out for the Switch. So, y'all need to shut up and stop acting like y'all have had it worse than anybody else. That's complete bullshit. Okay? F-Zero fans, I think, have had it way worse. And Kirby Air Ride, since you guys are bitching about that game a lot, I mean, that game, the sequel or whatever, it's been 22 years since they made a Kirby Air Ride game. Now, again, I get it. Yes, y'all have had to wait a long time, but it's so stupid how y'all are getting so anal when the game is close to coming out. You've seen that it's been rated. You've seen that there's been, playable demos of it at Gamescom. So the fact that y'all are just getting all fucking in your panties and shit over a game that we know is gonna come out really soon just boggles my fucking mind. It just absolutely befuddles me. And what pisses me off even more is then having this attitude of fuck everything else, fuck these other games, we only care about this, we're not going to talk about Zelda, Mario, or anything else until we get our release date. It's just so fucking stupid, And let me just say this. I am not the kind of Nintendo fanboy who defends everything Nintendo does. If you check out my other videos, you're going to find videos of me just bashing Nintendo for very stupid things that they did, okay? The most recent one that I could think of was their review, my review of their partner showcase that they did a month ago, and what an absolute piece of trash that showcase was. And before that showcase came out, I was pissed off because I wanted a big general direct, and then when it was announced that it was going to be a partner showcase that it was only going to be like 25 minutes long, I was fucking infuriated. Alright? I was pissed off at Nintendo. Like, what the hell is this bullshit? Where the hell are your first party games? Where the hell are your exclusives? I was fucking angry. But you know what? Just because I'm angry at Nintendo for one thing that they're doing wrong, or one thing that I think they're doing wrong, that doesn't mean I'm gonna get this like bitter attitude about everything else when it comes to Nintendo. That's just so fucking stupid. I'm not gonna be like, so I'm angry because they didn't have a general showcase, so then, when they announce a 45-minute direct for just Kirby Air Riders, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, Nintendo? We need more games. Why aren't you giving us a general direct? No, I was actually happy and excited when they announced that Kirby Air Riders direct. I was like, great, this is awesome. They're gonna actually show us gameplay and more content for this video game right here that looks like it's gonna be a fun video game. All we had gotten was a trailer, so I was super happy about that. I wasn't like all angry and be like, oh, it should have been a general direct showing off more first-party games. That's not how I looked at it. But you have these idiots out here who are just like, it's like they gotta have everything, or they gotta have this one particular game, and if they don't, they're gonna just be bitter about everything else, and they're not gonna be happy. They're not gonna be happy about the things that we are getting. And I'm getting so sick and tired of that shit from people. I'm not the kind of Nintendo fan who, just gets angry about one thing and then I can't be happy about anything else that's going on. No, I refuse to be that type of, fucking spoiled brat. Those are the kind of kids that I absolutely hate and despise. Those kids that are so damn spoiled that their parents could get them something really cool and awesome for Christmas, but because it wasn't the same, thing that their friends at school were getting, it wasn't this same exact thing that this popular toy or this popular, you know, pair of shoes or whatever, because it wasn't that, you know, they're going to be angry, they're going to be ungrateful, and they're going to not like their parents, they're going to hate their parents. And those kinds of people I absolutely despise. I really do. I hate ungrateful people like that. I hate people who can't take what is given to them and appreciate it, because their mind is only focused on one particular thing. Can't stand those kinds of people. So yeah, that's kind of my whole problem right now with some of these, you know, these fans. And, you know, look, again, like I've said before, it's not just Metroid fans. Like, apparently there's even Smash Bros fans who have this kind of stupid entitlement as well. And you would think they'd be excited for a game being made by Masahiro Sakurai, of all people. Masahiro Sakurai making a cool-ass fighting game with vehicles or whatever. You'd think Smash Bros fans would be happy about that, but I guess a lot of Smash Bros fans aren't really Nintendo fans. They just love that one particular franchise, and those are the kinds of people I can't stand, especially when they have all this entitlement. It's like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You think Nintendo only makes this one franchise, you piece of shit? No, they got Kirby, they got fucking Mario, Zelda, they have all these other damn franchises, and you stupid pricks are just over here like being entitled and acting like Nintendo needs to only cater to you guys, and you guys only care about one franchise, so go fuck yourself. Alright? Anyways, not to get all angry and whatever, but this is just, I want people to know what this YouTube channel is all about, what Nukem Nintendo is all about, or Nintendo Nukem. You can, either way is good. I'm still gonna call out Nintendo when they do things stupid, in my opinion. You know, when it comes to hype, when it comes to marketing, there are things that Nintendo have done that pissed me the hell off. The Wii U era was probably the era I've been the most angry and disgruntled with Nintendo, because I feel like they've done so many stupid things. I feel like I think about it now, I'm like, yeah, they didn't want the Wii U to be a success. They wanted it to fail, that way gamers would be hungry for a new Nintendo console, and then the Switch came out, and it absolutely just blew it away, and it blew away the PlayStation 4 and blew away the PlayStation 5. That's how I feel about the Wii U. You know, the way they didn't promote, you know, Devil's Third, that awesome game, you know, made by the same people who make Ninja Gaiden or whatever. That was a freaking awesome game. Pisses me off how they chose not to promote that game. They chose not to put that many physical copies out there. I couldn't get a physical copy. I could only, you know, download the game to my Wii U. And that was probably like the biggest game I downloaded on the Wii U, because the only games I downloaded on the Wii U were just small indie games. And it just pissed me off how I couldn't get a physical copy. I went to GameStop, like, yeah, we don't have any physical copies of that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was angry with Nintendo about that. Extremely angry. I thought that was stupid of them to just, you know, it's like they cave in to the negative reviews from dumbasses who were saying the game is trash or whatever. They just caved into those negative reviews and decided they weren't going to support the game in any way. And that really angered the hell out of me, because that was a great fucking game. But you know what, you know, just because I'm pissed off at them for that doesn't mean I'm just going to be bitter and hateful towards all these other great games that they are making. You know, that's not the kind of person I am. So I just kind of hope, you know, my message to you know, YouTubers out there who are acting this way, dude, if you want to grow your channel, you know, being this one-dimensional and only caring about one franchise isn't really going to help you get there. And it's definitely not going to help you when you're, you know, dismissing these other franchises and not caring about them because you still hadn't gotten just a freaking release date for Metroid Prime 4. So, just some food for thought, alright? Some food for thought. Anyways, I'm about to work out right now, so hopefully this was a good message to people. Hopefully people understand what this YouTube channel is all about. I am a Nintendo fanboy. I want Nintendo to do great, and I want Nintendo to continue making great games and not just, you know, focus on one franchise only. And I also want people to stop being fucking stupid and childish when it comes to Nintendo. I want people to stop being so one-dimensional and narrow-minded. You know, don't be like that. Don't be that kind of gamer. All right. All right. So that's about it. That's all I got. All of my subscribers, you guys let me know. Anyone who's new to this channel or comes across this video, feel free to leave your comments, whether you agree or disagree. Not sure why you would disagree, but let me know. I want to hear from everybody. I want to hear your thoughts, opinions about this. Let's have a discussion in the comments to this channel. With that being said, I will talk to you guys later. See ya.